Hey, Hexo traders and investors, it's Rod with POW Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth. It is Wednesday, March 17th, St. Patty's Day. I hope everyone had an awesome St. Patrick's Day. In today's video, we're going to discuss Hexo's earnings that just came out, fresh off the press, and it's definitely late, so I'm going to go through this as quickly as possible, but shout out to QC in our group who gave us the heads up that these were out. And this is off of cedar.com, so you can go there and check that out, check on the company documents. And you'll find it here, the interim financial statements and report. That'll open up this PDF and we can check out these financials. But before we jump in, make sure to smash the like and subscribe to the channel. It shows me some support. So we'll go over this and try to keep it as simple as possible. So we did see a little bit of a concern here. We missed on the EPS by quite a bit. We did see a slight beat in revenue, but we'll go through this as quickly as possible. So cash and cash equivalents, 129 million, and everything stated in Canadian dollars unless otherwise stated. So again, you can check this out on your own terms for specifics, but they just go over the assets and liabilities. And here we go, revenue from sales of goods, 45.678 million. And that's total gross net revenue from sales of goods, 32.827. So if we go check out investing.com, we are forecasting 32.28 million. So as per that, that is a beat, slight beat by about 600,000 roughly. And cost of goods sold, 21 million, 0.566. And just skimming through this, so it goes over some operational highlights. And the net loss per share, basic and diluted, was 0.17, so negative 17 cents per share. And they were forecasting negative 0.047 per share. So that was a huge miss there. So we did see a slight beat on the revenue. So this could be an interesting day tomorrow. We had GTII, which crushed their earnings. And we had SNDL, which had a pretty favorable earnings reaction. After hours, I did a video on that. You can check that out from earlier. It was a live stream, so it was definitely a little lengthy, but we'll see. There could be some Safe Banking Act progress. There could be New York legalization progress. And if SPY sees an overall green day, that could provide some tailwinds, but we're definitely a little concerned. We weren't expecting an EPS beat. We knew that the company wasn't expecting an positive EPS and for at least a few more quarters. And it's looking like it could be another 3 to 6 quarters before we see that. But we're seeing, lots of progress with their Trust Beverage Co. We'll look at that in just a second. But there's a lot of things that are, heading in the right direction, and they saw some positive EBITDA progress as well. So that is good to see. But we'll go through this as quickly as possible. So we'll just bring up this report here as well. Again, we're not going to go through everything. It is fairly lengthy. So it goes over some of the company overview, their strategic priorities, and their pillars. So they talk about operational excellence, which we saw with their Belleville facility. If you haven't seen that, check out my video of their Belleville Center of Excellence. It is absolutely second to none and just state of the art. Innovation, they have definitely been leading innovation. A lot of their products are standing out, in my opinion, like the OS Click. We've seen them, introduce the value segment, their 28-gram option at a reduced rate, and it's definitely a good quality product for the price. And market leadership, they are now in their top 3 LPs in Canada, licensed producers, and especially after the Zenabis acquisition, that's going to add a lot to their top and bottom line revenue as well. So it's only looking up from here. We're starting to see a lot of positive. They're also in talks with a potential CPG partner outside of the beverage space. So we'll see a lot of speculation in our group about that, how it could be potentially Mars or Nestle, something like that. Mars would be pretty cool. So they make, Skittles and M&Ms and that type of thing. And they also have a presence in Europe, a big presence. And their top HEXO and their management has alluded to the fact that it's a top 100 Fortune 100 company. So it could possibly, there was some members in our group, and shout out to QC again sharing that. That was pretty funny, looking at the speculation of Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, Procter and Gamble, and Mars and Nestle, and I'm picking Nestle, but a lot of people picking Mars as well. Let me know in the comments what CPG, consumer packaged good company, you think next Fortune 500 or Fortune 100 company that HEXO may partner with. So they talk about their Center of Excellence in Belleville, which I just mentioned, and their innovations. So they talk about their technologies, market leadership, which they've definitely, they had, Canopy had such a head start, and they're already in top 3 licensed producer. They also took over the number 1 category in the MJ infused beverage segment. So this goes over their different brands, the HEXO Plus, the Up, which is 20% THC and above every time, HEXO, and the Original Stash, which is the value brand. It's received awards and best brand of the year. Trust Beverage Co. So it goes on to talk about how XMG was top, in the category, and everybody is loving it. Trust Products have already made a big splash, taking the top MJ beverage market position in the 3 largest Canadian markets, Quebec, Ontario, and Alberta. Captured market shares were 59%, 35%, and 35% respectively. So they are committed to MJ beverages that focus on great taste, consistency, and choice for consumers. CBD and THC products within the portfolio have been developed with consumer input at every stage of development. So there's the brands, Little Victory, House of Terpenes, Molo, Verivel, and XMG. And all great products. Love them all. Can't get enough of them. The Molo 2.5s got it for like $2, $2.30 or something crazy today. It was pretty cool. See them that low. So it talks about, again, their Belleville facility, which is home to Trust Beverage Co., which is the Molson Coors partnership. And it goes on to list just an update on their facilities. So again, we'll continue to skip through this. HEXO USA, so it talks about the potential partnerships and expansion into different states. It talks about the Powered by HEXO and how they can leverage that in the United States through Molson Coors partnership like they've already done in Colorado. And it talks about that CBD USA partnership and trust. You can check out CBD USA Trust website and see all the different stores that they're offered in as well. But there's a lot of stores now that are offering them, and it's pretty impressive. And they've got 3 pretty cool products and flavors that a lot of the market is liking, and it could be just a matter of time before we see them take number 1 spot in Colorado as well. A lot of great feedback so far from that. So they give an update on the crisis in the economy. Won't say that word because the algorithm does not like it. So it goes over their lawsuit that they had for a trademark infringement that they won. It goes over their share restructuring. And like I said, company as progression towards positive EBITDA continues. So they are making progress. And like I said, share consolidation 4-1 goes over a detailed explanation of that. Here we go. So Trust CBD USA launches Verivel Sparkling CBD Water in Colorado on January 13, 2021. CBD Trust USA announced that the U.S. have launched Verivel TM, a new line of non-alcoholic sparkling CBD beverages exclusively available in Colorado. It's a hemp-derived adaptogenic sparkling CBD water now available in Colorado-based consumers in 3 flavors: Focus, Grapefruit Tarragon, Mind and Body, Strawberry Hibiscus, and Unwind, Blueberry Lavender. So it's powered by HEXO TM, the recognized quality and innovation behind the award-winning products. So HEXO is a CPG, a consumer packaged good company, first and foremost. And moving on, appointment of new director. So it goes over the HEXO to acquire Zenabis Global. On February 16th, the company entered into a definitive arrangement agreement with Zenabis Global to acquire all of Zenabis issued and outstanding common shares in an all-share transaction valued at approximately $235 million. Under the transaction, the company will acquire, by way of court-approved plan of arrangement, under the Business Corporations Act, British Columbia, of all Zenabis issued and outstanding common shares. Shareholders receive 1.1772 of common share for the company in exchange of each Zenabis common share held at an exchange ratio. So the current discount based on buying Zenabis, if it were to go through, is about 24%. And that fluctuates each day as we see that arbitrage opportunity dwindle. Warrants, convertible debt, and stock options and other incentive securities incentives will adjust it in accordance with their terms of ultimately become exercisable to receive common shares of the company based on the exchange ratio. So this transaction was unanimously approved by the board of directors of each of the companies. Zenabis board of directors, after receiving the unanimous recommendation of special committee formed for purposes of the transaction, independent financial and legal advice. Board of directors has unanimously recommended that its shareholders vote in favor of the transaction. So if you are a shareholder, I would encourage you to do the same. But again, this isn't financial advice. Do your own research and approach your licensed financial planner. And all investments have risks. This is for entertainment purposes only. So it will require approval by at least 66 2/3 percentage of the votes cast by shareholders of Zenabis present at the special meeting of Zenabis shareholders. Look at the financial results. So again, we've already pretty much gone over the highlights, and it just goes into some assets, liabilities, and a little bit more detail. And we'll get to the summary page here any second. It's definitely a lengthy report, and I can understand why a lot of people wanted me to do a video, as you can get lost in this. But here we go, quarterly results summary. So this is for the previous few quarters. So past performance does not guarantee future performance, and this information is not necessarily indicative of the results of any future period. Net revenue, 32.880. So again, beat on revenue. Total net loss was 20.839 million. Loss per basic and fully diluted share was 0.17. So big miss on EPS. So we'll take a look at the chart here and we'll see what we can expect going into tomorrow. But bulls are hoping that we can see. I'm swinging a lot less than I wanted to swing through earnings because we didn't see that dip today. But we're going to pretty much end it there in terms of the report. Let me know in the comments below what you think the stock is going to do tomorrow. Do you think it's a bullish report? Are you bearish? So we had a big miss there on EPS. Like I said, came in at 0.17 and we were expecting 0.047 and slight beat on revenue. So again, we had SNDL had a favorable reaction, GTII crushed, Green Thumb. And if we see Safe Banking Act potentially progress on that tomorrow, that could offset the EPS. And we didn't run that hard into earnings for HEXO. So keep in mind, once Zenabis acquisition comes, that's a lot of extra revenue added as well. And they're now top 3 in the MJ producers. And we're seeing a lot of momentum and just overall, acceptance in the retail space. A lot of people love the products and can't get enough of it. I myself included pretty much purchase them every second day at least. And by far my favorite LP. So we had a bit of an inverse head and shoulders here on the daily time frame, and we could see some follow through, but perhaps we may have to come down, form that bit more of that follow through on the right shoulder. Perhaps we come down, we'll be watching that 660 level, and that could potentially provide some support. So if we do see some further daily consolidation tomorrow on our earnings reaction, then we could be targeting that 660. It's also the 659 is also the weekly EMA exponential moving average on the 12 period. So that lines up well with that left shoulder. So if we do consolidate on the daily, I'll be targeting that. If we lose that, we'll be targeting the low here at 558, which is from March 5th. Like I said, we were expecting negative 0.04, came in negative 0.17. So big miss there. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw a bit of a negative and bearish reaction to that, as the revenue didn't crush either. We didn't run as hard as some names into earnings. We only ran about 30-40% from the lows there. That's still a significant move, but we did see some consolidation the last couple of days, and we have the EMAs there on the daily as well. But like I said, the weekly EMA 12 will be on watch. I definitely expected more. I expected more in terms of the revenue. We knew to be expecting negative EPS, and we knew that the company wasn't expecting positive EPS, likely going to be a few more quarters. So taking a look at the weekly chart here, the weekly 10-week moving average is sitting at 722. So we'll want to close the week over 722 to remain bullish. We could see a potential cross lining up here of the stochastic The MACD is yet to cross bearish, so we'll want to see a bull cross of the stochastic, and we'll want to see the MACD hold, and we'll want to see a close above 722. On the moving averages, we have the 100 moving average at 874 and the 200 moving average on the weekly at 1133. And we don't have any support on the 50 weekly down until 383. On the daily moving averages, we have the 50-day moving average. That'll be an important level as well at 706 and $7 psychological. And this is the US dollar chart on the NYSE. So that level could come into play. And then the 100-day moving average down at 529 and the 200 at 413. We also had the VWAP that held on that pullback, and that's sitting down at 564. And we have the 20 weekly moving average at 551 as well. So bulls are hoping for, an overall strong, broader market tomorrow. So if the S&P 500 is strong tomorrow, the tech sector, the overall market, if we see oil and the metals and crypto all bullish, if we see potential progress on the Safe Banking Act, if we see potential progress on New York, that could all be very bullish as well. We've got a lot of big MSO earnings coming out in the next couple of weeks as well. So that could all be short-term catalysts that help the sector, and we could definitely use some help here on HEXO. Again, I'm swinging a lot of the profits from a prior trade, and I'm set up with a hedge on SPY and QQQ, so I'm short the tech and the S&P 500 sector. So I'm not completely blindsided or at risk here, and I'm sitting on about 50% cash in my trading portfolio, ready to buy the dip. And looking forward to tomorrow. Again, let me know in the comments below what your reaction of these earnings are. Do you think it's bullish, bearish? Were you expecting less or more? Love to hear from you. It's getting late. We're going to wrap it up, and I'm going to go to bed. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to join the investor webcast. You can check out that in the morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. I'll be joining that as well, so expect an update tomorrow. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth, and we shall see you tomorrow for another HEXO update and a daily market recap and an MJ market review as well. Take care, everybody.